What if we covered the moon in mirrors? This question comes from pretty much everyone who's ever stared at the moon and thought, you know what would make that better? Some reflective real estate. So, today we're going to find out what would happen if we covered the entire surface of the moon with mirrors. First things first. How many mirrors are we talking about? The moon has a surface area of about 38 million square kilometers. That's roughly the size of Africa. If we use standard 1 square meter mirrors, we'd need around 38 trillion of them. That's a lot of IKEA trips, but let's assume we've somehow solved the mirror logistics, maybe through a global Kickstarter campaign, or by convincing Elon Musk that this is the next step in lunar colonization. The good news? The moon is already kind of reflective. Its albedo, that's the measure of how much light it reflects, is about 0.12. That means it reflects 12% of the sunlight that hits it. With mirrors, especially high-quality ones, we could push that up to something ridiculous like 90 or even 95%. So now, instead of a dull gray rock in the sky, we have a blinding disco ball floating above us. At first, this seems like a pretty cool upgrade. Night hikes become easier. We save on street lighting. Vampires have a harder time getting around. But then, problems start to show up. For one, nights would become a lot brighter. A lot brighter. The full moon already reflects enough sunlight to read by, producing about 0.25 lux of illumination. With a fully mirrored surface reflecting over 90% of the sun's rays, that brightness could increase by a factor of 7 or more, up to around 2 lux. That's like having a nightlight in the sky the size of a continent. You'd be able to read, drive, and question your life choices at 2 a.m. with perfect clarity. But that's just the beginning. Have you ever driven down a sunny road and had the sun bounce off someone's side mirror directly into your eyes? Now, imagine that mirror is 3,474 kilometers wide and orbiting your planet. Welcome to Earth's newest eye-destroying hazard. Glare would become a serious issue. Even a crescent moon could hit just the right angle and create temporary flashlight beams aimed straight at cities. Astronomers would cry. No more stargazing. Telescopes become useless. Deep space exploration, canceled. The only stars you'd be seeing are the ones caused by eye strain. Also, the increased reflectivity would bounce sunlight not just at Earth, but in all directions, including back toward space. That's wasted solar energy, which could subtly impact the Earth-Moon energy balance. But more noticeably, Earth itself would heat up slightly from the increased moonlight. Not by much, but enough to confuse climate scientists and spark several international mirror disarmament conferences. And it gets weirder. The mirrors would need to be anchored somehow. The moon has no atmosphere and very little weather, so that's good news. But it does have micrometeorites, constantly. Tiny, high-speed particles that smash into the surface at thousands of kilometers per hour. Each one of these would shatter the mirrors, sending shards flying. Congratulations! The moon is now the most dangerous broken glass sculpture in the solar system. Now, let's say we ignore that and keep going. What if, instead of flat mirrors, we install concave mirrors, giant lenses capable of focusing light? Now, things get dangerous fast. You've probably used a magnifying glass to burn paper as a kid. Imagine using the moon to do that. A correctly curved mirror could focus sunlight into narrow beams. That means the moon could literally become a solar death ray, lighting up cities, forests, or your ex's house with terrifying precision. Sure, it's unethical and probably a war crime, but it's technically possible. Even worse, the moon's orbit isn't geostationary. It moves across the sky. So, if you tried to weaponize it, you'd need extremely advanced targeting systems and some serious math skills. On the plus side, it might finally justify a space-based version of sunscreen. Also, don't forget about animals. Many rely on moonlight for navigation. Sea turtles, certain birds, and nocturnal creatures all use the moon to orient themselves. With a mirrored moon lighting up the night sky like a second sun, ecosystems would go haywire. Sea turtles might start nesting at convenience stores. Owls could develop migraines. Bats would organize protests. But let's turn things around. Could we use this mirrored moon for good? Maybe. For example, we could position the mirrors to reflect light to parts of Earth experiencing night, kind of like a giant cosmic reflector panel. This could be useful for places with long, dark winters. The moon could become a celestial night lamp for Sweden. But then again, this risks creating a permanent dusk in some areas and melting polar bears in others. And then there's the final, horrible truth. The moon doesn't stay still. It goes through phases, so even if we covered the whole thing in mirrors, only a portion would be visible from Earth at any given time. During a new moon, we'd still see nothing. During a full moon, we'd get the full disco experience. During the other phases, weird half-lit horrorscapes of light, reflections, and orbital glare. So, should we cover the moon in mirrors? If your goal is to ruin astronomy, confuse animals, blind humans, and accidentally create a space laser that might destroy Earth, then yes, go ahead. But if you're just looking for more light at night, maybe stick to street lamps. They don't break the ecosystem or start fires from 384,000 kilometers away.